Good day, learners, listeners, and viewers at home. You are welcome to another segment of e-learning in Kaduna State. I'm one of your financial accounting teachers. I'm here to present to you a topic, consignment account. Today, our outline on consignment account, we will discuss about the basic features of consignment account, the relevant terminologies under consignment accounts, the operation of consignment accounts, the various books of accounts connected to consignment. In our introduction, when a trader or seller sells goods directly to a customer, whether in his home, country, or overseas, these are ordinary sales. However, a trader may send goods to an agent to sell them for him. These arrangements are called consignments. Introducing my topic, when there's a direct sales between a trader and a customer, we say they are ordinary sales. But when an agent is involved, selling on behalf of the owner of the goods or a trader, we call this kind of arrangements consignment. We can now say consignments are goods consigned to an agent abroad to sell for commission. Consignments are goods consigned to an agent abroad to sell for commission. That is, the owner of the goods sends goods to an agent to sell on his behalf. And after that work has been done, he gets a reward called commission. Characteristics / features of consignment account. What are the things that you see and you know that this is a consignment account? Number one, goods that are being sold on consignment are described as goods on consignment. Goods that are being sold on consignment are described as goods on consignment. Since it's abroad, you find out that when the seller sends these goods to the agent to sell, he labeled these goods on consignment, so that you will know these goods can be differentiated. Then secondly, the arrangement involves the appointment of an agent whose responsibility is to sell the principal's goods consigned to him. There must be an arrangement between an agent who is responsible to selling the goods for the principal. Thirdly, the parties involved in this arrangement are the agent, who is the consignee, and the principal, who is the consignor. Here we can see there are two parties involved in this kind of arrangement. The agent is a consignee, and the principal, who is the what? Consignor. Then we have number 4 characteristics. The appointed agent has to take the responsibility of the goods until they are sold. The appointed agent has to take responsibility of the goods until they are sold. What do we mean by that? When these goods are being consigned to an agent, the goods are with him until the goods are sold. And after when they are sold, the responsibility of those goods are not his own. Then number 5, the agent, who is also the consignee, will receive a commission from the principal, who is the consignor, for his work. When the agent has finished selling the goods, he has a commission that will be paid to him. Number 6, if the agent could indemnify the consignor from any indebtedness arising from the sales made by the consignee, he will pay a special commission called the credit commission. When the agent say upon himself, if there are bad debts, if these goods are sold on credit, I stand the chance to identify myself for the principal. The principal now will decide to pay him a special commission called the credit commission. Number 7, all the partners involved are expected to keep independent accounting records relating to the consignment of goods. All the partners involved, that is the two partners involved, which are the agent and the principal, they are to keep separate books of account for proper accountability. Number 8, any goods held by the consignee is described and treated as stock of goods belonging to the consignor. Where there are goods that are remaining, the consignee, they are not his goods. They are still goods for the consignor. Even if they are not sold, they still belong to the consignor. And in accounting, under consignment account, we treat accounts on stock of goods that are remaining. Then we have some terms on consignment account. There are some terminologies. Number 1 terminology on consignment account is pro forma invoice. Pro forma invoice, which means for form's sake. For form's sake invoice. This is a document of detailed information issued by the consignor to the consignee relating to the consignment. On an ordinary sales, you can be given an invoice after you have purchased your good. In a consignment account, we call it for form's sake, which is always inscribed on the invoice. Here, all the details of goods sent to the consignee are stated on that pro forma invoice, attached to the goods on consignment. Then we have number 2, commission. This is a form of reward or remuneration for doing a job on behalf of a principal. It is based on a flat rate percentage of the gross sales made. Commission is a reward given to the agent after he has finished selling the goods, or even if goods are still remaining, he will be paid commission pending on when he has finished selling those goods. And how are these commissions being paid? It is on a flat rate percentage on the gross sale. Maybe you made a gross sale of 150. The agent can say, I'm getting 25% on that gross sale that he has made. Then we have number 3, delcredal commission. Delcredal commission. It is a special commission given to the consignee for accepting the responsibility for any bad debts from sales on credits. From any bad debts or sales on credits. Then we have the consignor. This is the trader or seller or principal who sends goods to the agent for sale. A consignor is a trader, is also the seller. It's also called the principal. He is the one that sends goods to an agent to sell on his behalf. He is called a consignor. Then the consignee. This is the agent who acts on behalf of the principal or the consignor to sell goods consigned to him for a reward. The consignee is an agent. Another name for a consignee is an agent who helps, sells the goods consigned to him, and he is paid a reward for work being done. Consignment, it simply means bulk of goods or items transferred from one place to another. Consignment is a bulk of goods or items transferred from one place to another. For example, Nigeria, Ghana. The agent can be in Ghana and the principal can be in Nigeria. He consigns his good to his agent in Ghana to sell on his behalf. The consignment inwards. These are bulk of goods sent to an agent who is a consignee for sale within the same place with the principal, who is the consignor. That means in consignment account, we can also dwell in the same place, and an agent can still act in selling goods for the consignor. While the consignment outward, these are bulk of goods sent to an agent who is the consignee in another country different from principal country of residence. These are bulk of goods sent to a consignee who is an agent to another country of residence of the principal. Then we have the operation of consignment account. How is consignment account being operated upon? The consignor will initially have to appoint a consignee who is an agent with whom he will enter into a contract of agent to sell goods on his behalf. A consignor will appoint an agent, somebody that will agree to do this business with him, to sell his goods and refund back the proceeds. As soon as the goods are obtained for consignment and transferred to the consignee, this is done with the pro forma invoice. That is, the principal states all the goods, write them down, write the expenses on a pro forma invoice, and send together with the goods to the agent, who is the consignee. For each consignment to an agent, a separate consignment account is opened to record all the transactions relating to the consignment. That means each consignment, he might collect a consignment in January, he has to open a separate account for that consignment, collects another one maybe in March, a separate account is going to be opened, and this is done for the sake of accountability. The agents will sell the goods and collect the proceeds from the customers to whom he sells the goods. He will then pay this over to the consignor after deducting his expenses and commission. The agents will sell the goods that have been consigned to him. And when he sells to his customers, he collects the proceeds. That means the money for selling the goods. He now deducts every expenses that he has incurred in the process of selling these goods and removes his expenses, his commission. Afterwards, he sends the remaining proceeds to the consignor. For accountability purpose, the consignee will send a statement showing details of his activities to the consignor. For accountability purpose, the consignee will send a statement of all transactions, of all things that he has done to the consignor, so that he too can use that to check what he has spent, the goods that he has sent, and this statement is called an account sales. And it is done to know whether profit or loss has been gained on these consignment goods. Completion of consignment. If the goods are sold on satisfactory terms, there will be 4 additional matters to record in the books of the consignor. When the terms are being met between the consignor and the consignee, that means the business has gone well. That is what we mean by satisfactory. Then, in the books of the consignor, he has to record the expenditure incurred by the consignor himself. That means the expenditure that he has incurred himself has to be recorded in his own books. Number 2, expenditure incurred by the consignee. That means expenditure incurred by the agent, such as landing charges when these goods come from Ghana, the charges that he pays, import duties, and etc., has to be recorded in the books of the consignor. Then thirdly, the sale of the goods by the agent. The agent collects all the proceeds from his customers and sends the money to the consignor. He has to record what he has collected in his own books. The commission earned by the agent is also recorded in the consignor's book. All this must be entered in the consignment to do and do account in order to find the profit and loss on the consignment. Consignment to do and do account is where profit and loss is being gotten from in that consignment book. in the consignor books. This is also entries in the consignor's books, apart from the ones I just said now. Firstly, expenditure incurred by the consignor. How do we treat the consignor's book? When there is an expenditure that has been incurred by the consignor, we debit consignment account and credit bank account. Number 2, expenditure incurred by the consignee. When there's an expenditure incurred by the consignee, we debit consignment account and we credit personal account of the agent. Because all the two partners have to have different accounts. They have to open separate accounts. So when there's an expenditure incurred by the consignee, the consignment account, which is the account that is for buying and selling, is to be debited. Then we credit the personal account of the agent by the expenditure that he has incurred. Proceeds from sales of goods. Proceeds as sales are money collected for the goods sold to customers. When these proceeds are being collected, we credit consignment account and we debit the personal account of the agent. Number 4, agent's commission. When the agent has collected his commission, the consignment account is debited. Then we credit personal account of the agent. Then number 5, cash remitted by the agent. When cash is being remitted by the agent, that is when cash is being given to the consignor, the owner of the goods, we debit bank account, we credit personal account of the agent. Transfer the balance to the consignment account. At the end of this operation, all the balance will be transferred to the consignment account. In summary, I discussed the meaning of consignment. I told you that when there's a direct sales between a trader and a buyer, or a trader and its customer, we say it's an ordinary sales or an ordinary business between two people. But even within the same country or outside the country, somebody can be in Ghana and want to buy things from Nigeria. It is a direct or ordinary sales. But where an agent is being appointed to sell goods on behalf of a principal who is a trader or who is the owner of the goods, we call this arrangement consignments. So we can say that consignment is a process whereby an agent sells goods on behalf of his principal for commission. And I gave you some features of consignment account where I said goods on consignment are always labeled or described as goods on consignment. Goods that are being sold on consignment are labeled or described as goods on consignment. And there's an arrangement between two people. The two of them are the consignee, who is the agent, and the consignor, who is the principal. And the agent is being appointed to take responsibility of selling of these goods until they are sold. He collects the proceeds from his customers and sends them to the principal. I told you about the terminologies, where I gave you a pro forma invoice. An invoice is when there's a transaction of buying and selling, details of what have been bought to be written down. But when it comes to consignment, another name for the invoice is for form's sake. That is pro forma invoice. Another word for it is for form's sake, where the detailed information about the goods is being written. You write them down and he sends them to his consignee. And the agent is paid a commission. or a reward for what he has sold. And where he is paid a special commission, it is where the consignee accepts responsibility for bad debts or for credits that have not been remitted. So he is paid a special commission called the credit commission. In your objective questions, my students, you mostly see questions on consignment, where you'll be asked, what is a consignor? A consignor is a trader or a seller or a principal. These are names of consignor in consignment account. And a consignor is a person that sends goods to an agent to sell on his behalf. And a consignee is the agent that sells the good on behalf of the consignor. He sells this for a reward called commission. Then we have the consignment inward and the consignment outward. Consignment inward is a bulk of goods sent to an agent for sale within the same place with the principal. That means they are staying in the same country. While the consignment outward is where goods are sent to the agent in another different country. And we talked about the operation, where initially the consignor will appoint an agent to sell goods on his behalf. After he has received these goods with a pro forma invoice, when he sells these goods, he collects the proceeds and sends them to the consignor. And these proceeds, before he sends them, he deducts his expenses that he has incurred. He also removes his commission. And for accountability's sake, the consignee sends a statement of account sales to the consignor. We have come to the end of this lesson. And before I go, I'm leaving with you two assignments. One, what is another name for the consignee? Two, what do you understand by del credere? One, what is another name for the consignor? Two, what do you understand by del crederil? When you are finished answering my assignments, you can send it to my contact, which is 081 82 69 2515. 081 82 69 2515. I'm Mrs. Blessing Ayuba Samson. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Stay safe and God bless you.